back at it. So I put those shims on. You can see where, you know, it's fairly smooth now on those joints. Now I think when it comes to the hood part, it's just a matter of it being not a perfect fit, because of course it's just like this part. I just don't get what's wrong here. But this side's fairly smooth, so kind of at odds with what's going on there. This looks fairly decent. I'm not having an issue with that. As far as fitment, it's just this little like lift here. I mean, I probably could remove that stuff and sand it, but for today's purposes, I don't think it's going to be an issue. You know, I'm going to be trying to get this sorted out, at least start the process today. All right, so open up the hood, and this is where I'll show you why the aero catches are going to be pretty decent. I had to unscrew these quite a bit so that these would fit right. And to be honest, at high speeds, I don't think I want that holding my hood. Not just that it's fiberglass holding fiberglass, which could easily break, but no thanks. So the tape still hasn't come in for this part, but in the meantime, I mean, I just want to get the hood pins put here and here. So let's see how that goes. And so what I need to do is remove these guys. I screwed those in, but I'm probably going to unscrew them and then make a bigger hole. So that's easily done with a Dremel. If it gets too big, I might even just go ahead and just cut it out so I can possibly just get some Bondo glass, put it back together with just the amount of hole I need to get it done. So yeah, you can see the shims there. Of course, I didn't do an amazing job sanding that down. I could probably go back at any time and do that, but I honestly just need it to fit properly. Made the holes. Where is it? I had to make a little adjustment here, but this one came on pretty dead on. You'll see it's in there. The way I realized I needed a little bit more was I just got this guy. Went here and saw that. Okay, so I needed, I want to say, okay, I needed that much. And I needed that much. So it's probably a little bit of overkill at the moment, because I'll be making bigger holes, but it gives me a spot to start with. And then I made these, so I'm going to decide how I want to put them on the car. If I want to put them like slant-wise, or if I want to put them up. I guess that's what we'll be looking at next. Okay guys, so this is the mock-up I made. And it's based on, if you can see the ridge line of the hood, I wanted to match that. But the problem is, my hole is right here. Now luckily enough, it's right inside of that where it's got to clamp down. So I'm not going to have any like imperfection there. I mean, I'm right on the edge. So all I need to do is kind of just come over. And same here. I'm right over here. I just need to come over. So what I'm going to do is, well, for that I'm going to have to move these over. I want to say about just coming over a little bit. I'll just make it like a little adjustment area there that I can just run it over. And then see how we go. But that's how it should look when it's done. Alright, so I did cut into it. It's not the prettiest job in the world, but Let me see how it goes. Right, so I measured it out, and I just got to cut all that out. Then I just got to make accommodations for the hardware. Here's progress from yesterday. And yeah, I did slip on the drill, so I'm going to have to sand that out. But, so I started my hole, and it's a little small, so I got to work on it. That's what happened over here, too. So you'll see I'm kind of looks all right. I didn't miss too much. I got a slight little thing there, but the rest is going to hold on real tight. You can see that line is pretty solid with respects to where I'm trying to go. I had to dig a bit more out, but I mean I'm gonna have to dig a lot more out because I have to actually fasten that thing together. You'll see I had to bend this. Now hold on, let me show you something. Give me a second. Okay, so when I cut this hole out, I really didn't do such an amazing job, so this is what ended up happening. And this is pretty much where it's gonna live, I think. Same as the one before, or on the other side. But I started here and it looked good, and well, it's gonna end up over here. So just food for thought. Get a mental picture if you're doing this. Yeah, I did hit over here with the Dremel too. That kind of sucks. But I had to do a little bit of fine tuning, but you can just you get your palm in there and you start bending little pushes, not major pushes, and it'll start moving. I had to do a little bit going that way too. So, but I got it to go, you know. It's not finished, it's a little high, but you can see where it just ends up right in the spot. Like so. It's high because it's not closed. I just have to adjust it, but I wanted to give you an idea. I have to adjust it a little again because I'm dropping it a bit, but we'll see how it goes. So next, I'm going to come in here. By the way, if you're going to do this, definitely get out some protective gear for your face because you don't want to breathe this crap in. Anyways, so what I'm going to do is, I like the position of that. That's where I wanted it to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out. Well, let's get that out of there. So I'm going to measure that out and come over here so that I know where my bottom is here to here. Because honestly, I want to measure it to the bottom. And then I can get kind of an idea as to the distance from here, but it looks like it's good here. I just got to dig it out over here, like this, and a little bit up here, because that's not fitting. All right, so that's where I'm at. So far, so good. All right, so to keep these screws in there, I went ahead and just burned corners. Not super burned them, but just enough to melt them a little bit, and then just pushed over on it. And that way, they're in there. I mean, they're not super glued tight in there, but I mean, they're just lipped over so that they'll stay. And of course, I'll just sliver it in there and get it done, rather than cutting a massive hole underneath my hood. So let's see what happens. All right, let's final look at these guys. Kind of have to push down because it's tight. That's kind of how you want it. Because you don't want so much air coming up under the cowling. And that's them. Now I'm going to put the other bits on, put the little rubbers on, and call it good. Just an update. So, of course, I spent the whole day on the car. And I got pretty good at just getting it done. I got real efficient, so man, I busted through it. In fact, I had enough time to where I could take the fenders off as well. So that is an undertaking, but we'll get into that in a minute. Anyways, yeah, so I 2000 sandpapered the hood and everything, and came out good. It's surprising. I actually found the carbon fiber. I think I put it on a previous video. Underneath the primer. So I mean, I guess the top side of it they used carbon fiber, the hex carbon fiber, which is the pretty one. Man, I could have just rolled with that, but I'm not sanding that entire hood just to find carbon fiber. It's just good to know I have that extra rigidity, and it's a solid hood. I get it, you know, if all you do is just build a ton of those, and someone says, "Oh, I want the fiberglass one," they're like, "Nah, we'll just paint over it and pretend it's fiberglass." And I mean, it's not much difference, is it really, when you're doing the manufacturing? All right, so I got the left side on, another fitment thing. There's a little bit of in here, but I might just try to raise it up a little bit. I pushed it down as much as I can without breaking the glass. Definitely had to sand some of that just to make it look a little bit more even. But it's coming out. I went ahead and test fitted the Z logo. I'm going to have to do the same for the other side before I go ahead and put wrap. Already have my wrap cut out. It's ready, but it's good that I can kind of adjust the fender to match the hood, because the hood had this little bit of like arc in it. I don't know if that was by design, or I don't know what the deal is, but it worked out. Now I think I just have to take this one off now. The 2000 grit that I used has a semi-glossy tone to it, but I didn't get that here with this one, so I'm gonna go ahead and resand that 2000 again until I can get like a sort of a sheen. I definitely want that wrap to stick. So for right now, just to recap, I made the holes for the Z's. Actually, I screwed this one out, or excuse me, Dremeled this one out, the whole fitting out, so I could, or the fastener part out, so I can get it in there and sticking, and so that it doesn't come out. But I haven't done that to the other side. I think I'll do it to the other side. I'll bring it back tomorrow and sort that out. But I've got a lot of sanding to do because I want to make this super shiny-ish, so that I can get that wrap to stick properly. But everything else coming out good. I'm kind of impressed. At first, I thought that the let me show you. All right. So at first I thought these were simply just going to snap off. I actually had to cut a relief here because of this thing. This thing's just not happy. You can see a little bit of cracking just on the... Wait a minute. Am I not focusing? Anyways, alright. So I had to really fucking... Sometimes you think you're going to break it, and you keep pushing and pushing, but it doesn't break. That's kind of the way I had to go to get it fit right. I don't know what I'm going to do for this. This is just totally off. Just might have to make some sort of a bracket. And maybe even get it to... Or just make some type of a... something that attaches to the engine bay, so that I can kind of bridge that, because right now it's a little bit wonky. And then I might do a metal support for this, because this is kind of carrying a bit of weight, because it's got this guy and the oil cooler too. It's kind of has some weight, so it's not showing too much, but it's there. Otherwise, pretty good. Of course, afterwards, I got to do this. What I'm thinking is, I'm going to cut it here, and then I'm going to wrap it around, because you can see inside, and I don't want to see inside. In fact, I just am going to try to keep as much crap from coming in here as possible, I think. At least in this section. I guess I could call that some relief air there. Maybe I'll even vent it, but for now, I just may give it a cut and go heat gun and bring that over. That way it doesn't look like, you know, I'm looking in here and seeing the inside of the car, or the unibody of the car. I just want to see panels and plastic that covers it. It may be also worth it just to spray paint that black. Just give it a quick once over with some spray paint. I mean, hell, who looks in there anyways? So, geez, that was sucking. All right, sorry for that. Let's see. So yeah, hopefully we can get the party started with this. You know, I threw some vinyl on it before. Just on top, and geez, black on red. I'm just excited to see how that's gonna look. I would prefer it be red all around, and that's the goal. You know, coronavirus thing. So we gotta wait for shops to open, and wait for me to actually get paychecks, so I can afford all this fun stuff. Okay, talk to you guys later. Just an update. So I did try to put on the wrap, and man, I'll tell you what, I give it to those guys to do the wrap. That is not an easy job. Of all the victories I've had doing this work on the car, this was my first, I want to say, major fail. When I tried to put it on the fenders, no effing way, it just wouldn't go. Maybe it's because the hood, I had used 1,000 grit and then gone to 2,000, and it came out a lot smoother. I went straight to 2,000 grit on the fenders, and it really wasn't sticking. I was getting a lot of this ribbing going on, and I even burned a section out because I didn't know how hot you can get this stuff. And then round 2 did the same thing, and then I got a huge tear that I wasn't expecting. It's not easy work, guys. So here's what I'm thinking. Now, when I was sanding it down, and prepping it to do this work, I uncovered that there's some carbon, underneath it was carbon fiber, hex carbon fiber. Now, I could really run into a situation, I could get lucky, and the whole thing is hex carbon fiber. Sexy as hell, sand it down, polish it, I mean, even do a clear coat on it, and just rock a freaking carbon fiber hood that I didn't pay for. I paid for the hood, but I didn't pay for the carbon fiber treatment. Or I get unlucky, and since they know that nobody will look underneath the right, or it wasn't supposed to be a carbon fiber hood, they could have used regular sheets, and then hex sheets, and then some fiberglass. It could just be a hodgepodge underneath, and I don't know. It could just be really ugly. At this stage, I'm willing to gamble, because I spent some dollars on buying that wrap. I failed completely, so that's all wrap in the garbage. So the next place I think I'm going is to go to my sandpaper box, and I'm gonna just sand that shit down, see what's underneath. Worst case scenario, there's nothing under there. But I mean, whatever. You know what I mean? And then I could try to wrap it again, maybe. I don't know. But if I'm lucky, it's just, crisis averted. I mean, I just want a dark hood. I don't care. At this point, I want it to look good. Don't get me wrong. I don't roll in trash. I like to have a nice looking car. But in this case, I just want the hood finished. And eventually it's going to get painted. Eventually the fender's going to get painted. Eventually that car's going to look rocking. But I'm unemployed. Coronavirus is a motherfucker. And I gotta wait. So I'll wait for that to happen. But in the meantime, I just want to get these panels on the car. I'll have to settle for the hood. The hood is the most functional anyways. I can throw the fenders back on. I mean, the hood's already there. I mean, I did so much work to the hood. Fenders are kind of just, I made holes for the fenders. That was it. So, see what happens. Yeah, I'll get back to y'all. As soon as I've sanded more and I uncover more, I mean, I'll probably just do a diagonal cross section to see if all the sheets match. If I'm lucky, they do. All right. So, if you didn't watch my last little section, you would have missed out on, well, the wrapping didn't work. Here's my wrap over here. Thank you very much. Split holes and everything. But I think what I alluded to before was that, well, there's carbon fiber underneath here. In fact, it's hex carbon fiber. Check this out. You see that? I mean, that's pretty cool. Right? I don't even know if that picks it up, but there might be imperfections in it. I don't know. Maybe. But it's hella better than spending more money on wrap right now. So I'm going to sand it all the way down and just finish it. And then when it comes time for paint, well, that'll be the color. And but in the meantime, let's see what this looks like. It's not going to hurt my feelings if it doesn't look perfect, or even, well, it's just not going to hurt my feelings. Just the aftermarket fenders up there, I'm kind of feeling, because I really wanted them on, but again, it's a situation so where I just need to paint them. So, but that's the deal right there. So all I need is finish just sanding this down and get it really nice. And it does look like there's some vacuum issues there, but who cares? Just get it running until I have to paint it. What's up? It's a bit of fast forward here. You'll see I actually added a black border. It needed it, man. It was looking like dog shit before. So now I'm just about ready. There are some like little nicks in here and there, but when I get it wet, you don't see it. I mean, look, it's just it's a defect CF hood that was sold to me as a carbon fiber hood, which is fine because it got primered and everything and it was ready. It would have been stronger than a fiberglass hood, so I'm not upset. But again, the whole purpose of this is for me to use this temporarily like this, cleared and like a regular CF hood, until I can paint it. So I got the clear down there. Just been doing some wipe downs, and she's just almost ready. She's ready with 800 sandpaper, and then once I do that, I'll flip the mask, and then I'll add some black satin to sort all that out, and to get the grills again, because I kind of mashed the grill again with a bit of sandpaper, so that'll sort that out. But so far so good. It's slightly choppy here, but you know, I'm not going over that again and again and again. Like I said, the final product's going to be a painted red hood, not a CF glazed hood. Yeah, so let's get to it. So we're 3 cans in. That's number 2, and that's number 3. Well, 2.5 cans in. It's starting to get a little bit of a shine. I'm pretty excited. There's some spots where I did a little bit of overspray. I'm gonna have to sand that down. See those little drips. But it's a little thick over there too. But man, overall, it's the layers are starting to set in. It's starting to show a little bit of a shine. I can't wait till I get to can number 5. So, in case you were wondering what I'm using, it's this guy here. I'm not like a sponsor for this company or anything, so pick whatever's important. But this is the most important part: UV non-yellowing. So hopefully they stand by the product. It's actually going to do the thing. You see a little bit of white there? Sure. So what I'm going to do is reverse mask this, and I'm going to hit this with black satin, but I'll make sure I get those bits too. So that's not going to be an issue. Just remember, this was not supposed to be a hood. That was a finished product. I made it a finished product by just rattle canning the shit out of it. So, but you'll see those borders that I made. They're actually blending in. I think the original, what they did was they candied, or they faded and toned the what was black, but in the edges it was really ugly. So me just putting that black border added to what they were fading, so you don't just see a hard line. So some of it's their stuff. That fade, you can see it, man. Jeez, it's just starting to get shiny. See, some of that is a bit of fade, and the rest is my overlay. I think it looks good. All in all, so far, I'm excited. Let's see how it turns out. It's 5 cans in, so now I'm just gonna let it chill. I'm gonna let some of these little high spots that I made, where are they? Well, I don't know if you've seen the video. Relax for a bit and dry, and then I'm gonna come back and sand this motherfucker. I had to fast forward a bit, but I mean, I had a really, really good night last night, just beating the shit out of it. I mean, I just went from 1,000 grit, then I went to 1,500 grit, and then I went to 2,000 grit, and then I went to turtle wax polish, which is this guy here. And believe me when I tell you, you're gonna have to go over that like 5 or 6 times. You're gonna, like with the turtle wax, you're gonna want to beat on it for at least 4 or 5 applications. And instead of doing swirly patterns, you're gonna want to do straight patterns. That's what I did. And then I waxed it, and it came out really good. Now, mind you, there are imperfections. This is my first time doing this shit. Basically, I don't know if you can see it. You do have little like bits of where to show drips and stuff, and I mean, whatever. I mean, the whole purpose of it was to revitalize a hood that wasn't supposed to be a hood, a carbon fiber hood to start with. So it's my first time doing it, so it turned out really good. I had these black ones, but I decided I had these also, so these actually look pretty good. They look better than the black ones, so I'm gonna leave them on. When I paint them, I'll probably go back to the black ones. I don't know. We'll see. I just happened to buy 2 of them because I had 2 cars, or I had another car with carbon fiber hood. I was going to do it, but changed my mind. So, yeah. I fucking love it, man. It looks really, really good. Now, there are some white spots and stuff, and there are some, like, gunk. Some of the gunk is just going to come out, but some of the white spots I'm going to have to address. But, like I say, the border... I mean, the border just came out fucking sexy, dude. There's some lip over on the border in some places, but I mean, it just overall looks good. Everything else looks good, aside from the, aesthetic problems with the hood. I mean, it's fucking glass. I mean, you can see me. Hey, how's it going? It's just that shiny. It's just beautiful. The rest of the car, well, that's another story. Of course, you got to put the skirt on, because, of course, well, this thing came off. And it was coming out and it was catching air, and I'm a big thing about aerodynamics, so I took a heat gun and brought it in a little bit and just glued it. So that's that. I'm going to get this thing tightened down. Underneath the car is another issue. I still have those rolls over here. They're going to be putting on the underside of the car. And I got to go take the car to get it just washed off, man. I gotta bag those filters, and clean it off, and go from there. But that's the next project. So yeah, can't complain. Aside from that, I gotta get that tape out. But yeah, all right.